What's up, YouTube? This is your big bro, King Jabez. Back to another very important message. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at the King Jabez. And for those who want to talk to me one-on-one, I do offer consultations. Whatever you do, I will appreciate it. Let's work. Today's video is an important one to give you on this Wednesday, June 25th. And that is a message to the chosen ones. They targeted you out of jealousy. Simple. And because of that, or in spite of that, a door has opened for you that was closed. Now think about this. When you are being targeted, people who are jealous do a lot of cruel things, right? The Song of Solomon makes it clear that jealousy is as cruel as the grave. So start right there. So King Solomon, ancient Hebrew king, made it clear when people are jealous, they are cruel. So look at your life, look at your family, look at your so-called friends, look at your associates, co-workers, and look at their consistent actions towards you. And if they're consistently manifesting cruelty and you're wondering what's going on, that's what it is. They're probably jealous. And they're manifesting that and they're targeting you. And so what do they target? Whatever makes them feel less than, right? If a person feels small around you, if they feel like you look better, it might be just base level, they just on that low of a frequency, okay? That low vibrational, you look better. You may not like it because you're taller. They may not look like you because the women, you got a better shape than them. It'd be that simple. The tone, the texture of your hair, the length of your hair, your skin complexion. People are that limited in their perception sometimes. And the reason I say limited, to be honest, is that there's so much to a person. There is so much to a human being in terms of when you're born, your alignment with the moon and the stars and the earth itself, God and angels, the purpose of your life, your spiritual gifts, your abilities, your talents, your likes, your dislikes, what you're good at. It's so much to you. We are all very complex beings. And when people just marginalize you to something so superficial, it's annoying. It really is. And to minimize your gifts and to minimize really your worth. And that's why when people say they don't want to be objectified, there is a lot of truth to that. There is more to a person than how they look. There is more than a person than the race they come from. There is more to a person than their sex, whether they're male or female. People get so stuck there. And you walk into a room and you're a man and people just, boom, got all of these perceptions. You walk into a room as a woman, as a lady, and boom, all these stereotypes people have in their head. And so you're fighting this just pretty much on a daily from all of the social engineering that we've all been through, to be honest. And a lot of it is BS. You know, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm a person who's been thoroughly educated, just in my own personal study, as well as formal life experience. And I came to the conclusion probably about 5 years ago, a lot of this stuff is just bull. Simple put. You know, they tell you do this, that, and the third, and you do this, that, and the third, and you realize it was a game. So when we wake up, right, people say it a lot, when you begin to wake up and start really, okay, so you think, okay, what does it mean to wake up? You're thinking for yourself now. That's waking up. If you're still letting other people think for you, you're still asleep. But when you begin to really, truly think for yourself, and now thinking for yourself, this is not me minimizing the need for a mentor, because I believe in that. This is not me minimizing the need for teaching, otherwise I wouldn't be doing these videos, okay? So get teaching, get mentors. This can help you on the journey. But even with all the talks I do and all the content other people do and the books you read and whatever it is you're going to, because I know you're not just watching me, to learn about decision making in life, whether it be someone like me or a book or a class or multiple sources of information, at the end of the day, with all the information, you have to make the decision, right? And when you do that and you begin to grow, you will get targeted. I'm going to just give it to you flat out. So you're not sitting back. I wish someone would have told me this. Probably, if you wanted to say, big bro, when did you wish you learned this? You know, I learned by experience. But I wish someone would give me a clear heads up about a little over 10 years ago. Is when it became clear, man, this how people coming. Okay, this how they coming out here. Man, you know what I mean? And of course you see it growing up, you're not slow. When you're in high school, grade school, all stuff happens at that level too. You know what I mean? But you start thinking that people, as they get older and mature, they will change, and they don't. People will be like 25, 30, 35 still with a high school mentality. I'm telling you, still stuck in the clique, still stuck in the bullying, the mean girl spirit, the bully spirit. Some of these guys, some people still have the same energy at 25. I want you to think about it. So you sitting there looking at me, you grown, 25 years old, 30, still got that high school mentality. Man, that's crazy, ain't it? But people be coming just like that. So think back on your experience in high school and look at how people act at your job. Yeah, I rest my case. Look at how your family acts. Look at how people act, in your different social circles. It's that same spirit. And it's just human nature. Jealousy, love, hate versus, people feel inferior, others feel superior. All the different games people play each day. So when you are targeted, you have some decisions to make. Because, in other words, when you're targeted, doors will close. That's why I put that in the title, to make it clear. The targeting leads to closed doors. Okay, let's tap in. The targeting will sometimes lead to you being demoted at work. I went through that, I had experience with that when I feel like I was demoted, and this is old now, so I don't care anymore, but I was demoted, in my opinion, wrongfully. It was just flat out just personal, didn't really train me, didn't really prepare me. People will do that. So I want some of y'all, I'm sharing this so you all are on to game. If you go into a job, my boy, sis, and you are the young up and coming, watch out for the ones who are older who are there. Okay, let me tell you what I know. I've done classes, I've done research, I have taught a lot of people, done a lot of consultations, tapping in for consultations. Some of you need to talk to me too, by the way, one-on-one, and I'll tell you all about that one. The workforce rather. Tell you all about those games with the bullying and targeting. So if you go into an environment, you're 20, 25, 30, talented, ready, skilled, degreed up, whatever, watch out for the haters. I'm telling you, they're going to target you. And you might find yourself getting demoted. That's what that means. You may find yourself in some cases getting fired, getting relocated. I asked somebody in my gym recently, I'm sharing this because you don't know who he is, and he went through this job. He's a plumber, making good money, 6 figures a year, and man, just he did this building, it was like a big project. He did a lot of the work, and people start to politics. One of the guys there, and of course I'm paraphrasing, starts gossiping. Men be gossiping too. Some of you gossiping men. Some of you men be gossiping. So if somebody start gossiping, I do that real quick. Be gossiping. Because I've been through it too, my job. Gossiping men. Joe could be 6'5", 6'3", 300 pounds gossiping. But anyway, talking about him and minimizing his work. Next thing you know, the boss takes it aside and he ends up getting himself relocated. Now, of course, he's telling me his side of the story, but I believe him because I know this guy for a while. He seemed like a genuine person, and I know how people are. People will gang up on you at work, try to bully you. So be prepared for this, guys. I had a conversation with him. I tried to encourage him from my experience, and he was saying, "Man, I don't even want to go in the next day." I was like, "Man, go in, man." I was trying to encourage him. I'm big bro. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. Go in. You got a wife, you got them kids. Do what you gotta do as a man. You know what I mean? And ladies, do what you gotta do as a lady. You got kids. So I'm not telling you if you're going through this to just instantly leave. That's not always the answer, because that's not what I did. I went through that stuff and I thought about it, and I made my move at the right time. I made my move a little over 5 years ago, but I thought about it for at least a year or two before I actually made the move. That's iron. Big bro ain't finna do nothing hastily. So if you are thinking about going into entrepreneurship, self-employment, whatever, think it through. Let me tell you from experience, it is not for everybody. If you think it's easy, it is not. I am working all of the time. Okay? So I'm not telling you shouldn't do this, but I want you to know what you're getting yourself into. Okay? So, in some cases that may be your best option. Because it's going to be difficult one or the other. It's going to be difficult with the workplace, politics, and games people play in the workforce and deal with all that junk and what comes with that. And it's also going to be difficult to do it for yourself. But the choice is yours and what you're really wired for. Some people are not wired for entrepreneurship. Some people are better off working a job, and that's fine too, by the way. Everybody can't be a business person. Period. That's just the way life works. So, when you're going through that, doors will close. That's what I'm trying to say by giving those different real life examples from a guy I talked to recently at the gym and even my own life. And some of you can relate to this. And some of you I've talked to in consultations, you've been through similar things like this. This stuff does happen. Okay? And so when it happens, doors will close. So I want to give you that bad news. Some doors will close. You may find yourself being demoted. You may find yourself being relocated at work. You may find yourself looking bad when you didn't do nothing wrong. That's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. But here is the good news. This is what you came to hear. A door that once closed will open for you suddenly. That's what a breakthrough is. Breakthrough means to open suddenly out of nowhere. You understand? So when you do things the right way, eventually the right door will open for you just like that. So you have to stay strong during the transition. You have to continue to grow. So this is a message in patience. This is a message in endurance. You have to endure. You have to be patient. You see, patience and hard work, diligence removes mountains. You want to get rid of some big problems in life, okay? Whether it be vocation or family or relationship or finance, whatever it may be, it's going to take some time. So we got to get rid of the social media time frame. You know, I know you see these little reels on social media. I do a bunch of them. I'm the real guy. I got over 300 reels on Instagram. So I know you see these reels and you see these videos. Those are snapshots to my mind. Okay, that's not the whole story. The whole story takes years. Okay, let me talk to you. Days of hard work figuring this stuff out. So it will not happen overnight. So I want you to stop thinking this is going to happen overnight. It's not. I know some of you are saying, man, big bro, I'll read the comments. You know, big bro, I'm tired. And I get it. I hear you. And, you know, and if you're tired, you know, here's the thing. And I receive that. If you are tired, and that's real, find ways to rest. Okay? That's why I did one of my old videos. I keep on going back to my archive. I did a video sometime last year. I told you to rest up right before a major door opens up. Rest up to get the strength you need to manifest this big blessing. Something along those lines. Why did I say that? Because I understand you're going to get weary on the journey. You need energy for the spiritual battles you face. Right? That is the currency. You got to have energy. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration, according to the genius Nikola Tesla. Right? And that's why you guys should be on SR, by the way. Tap in. That's why ladies should be keeping yourselves pure. Tap in, ladies, men. Because what that does, it gives you the energy you need to manifest. And this is why people teach in various cultures all across the world, when you're trying to manifest, it's wise to be celibate temporarily. Now, so you ain't saying you gotta be Mother Teresa. I know some of y'all that say big world. Summertime, I ain't trying to hear none of that. You hear me? And that's fine. I feel you to a extent, to be honest. But it's okay to step back for 1 or 2 or even 3 months and just put all of your energy into manifesting your goal. That's just some free game for you. You can take it or leave it. That's up to you. Some of you say, Brick, well, I'm leave that in the summertime. I ain't trying to hear none of that. You hear me? That's fine too. But for those who can receive that, this is what it is. Raise your sharp focus. And that gives you the energy you need to what? To heal yourself internally. To have your mind and discernment sharp. Right? Find ways to heal through meditation. Meditate each day. One of the guys that follows me on Instagram, he's a professional basketball player overseas. And he was saying how he would just meditate day by day and begin to think about his dreams, and goals, and he would manifest that stuff. J. Cole said the same thing. I watched the reel over Instagram. He talked about how before one of his last albums some years ago, he hasn't done any music recently, but some album he did was very good. I forget the title of this one. I like some J. Cole stuff. He meditated every day for a year. That's what I'm trying to say. And that meditation helped him to align his thoughts and ideas, and it came out in the music that people liked. And it was received well, obviously. And people still see J. Cole that way. Why is that? Because he found a way to rest in the midst of all that turmoil. All that comes from being an artist, and especially at that level. And so whoever you may be, an artist or a content creator watching this, or athlete, business person, husband, wife, whoever you are, tradesman, whatever you do, you have to find ways to rest and to get yourself positioned for when the door opens. And the door will often open suddenly and out of nowhere. Does that make sense? So no matter what you're going through, find ways to rest. Meditation, vacation, practical off days. Okay, here's another one. Sleep more. Go to bed a little earlier. Find ways to recover each day. You can't go anywhere burnt out. Right? I learned years ago, this might sound generic, but it's true. You have to take time for a cookout before you burn out. You know what I mean? And that's what does that mean? You got to relax. Go to a barbecue. Go to a game. Go out to eat. Find ways to chill. Because if you just work, I know a lot of us, especially if this just grind culture, just work, you're going to burn out. I don't care how young you are, how old you are, you're going to burn out. So you have to work hard, but you also have to find ways to rest hard. And rest isn't just sleep. You need mental rest. You need spiritual rest. You need physical rest. You draw? So, ladies, men, that's what I have for you on this Wednesday. I hope you enjoy this message. This is your big bro, King Jabez. God bless. Peace.